JL and Sonny. They talk about it all, the serious or the funny. LGBT community, keep it 100. We gon' be honest, ooh, we gon' be honest. Tonight's gonna be controversial. I'm predicting in the script with no rehearsal. Keep the whole world tuned in. Nighttime radio, Night Talk Live, Night Talk Live, Night Talk Live. Don't touch the dial, tune in now. Night Talk Live, Night Talk Live, Night Talk Live. Turn it up now, 'cause we on now. Night Talk Radio, Night Talk Radio, Night Talk Radio. JL and Sonny. Ooh, Night Talk Radio.
Good evening.
Hello. Hey, Sonny.
Hey, JL, what's going on, hon?
Hey, I'm wonderful. Hey, listeners out there in the big wide world. Welcome to Night Talk with JL and Sonny. Happy Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. We are so excited. Everyone is tuning in, and this is the official launch week, right, JL? We've made our official relaunching of Night Talk Live back on air.
Yeah. We took a short break and regrouped and strategized and refocused and decided to come back and give our listeners and our followers not 2 hours of show, but a powerful 1 hour program. Excited about what Loud Talk is doing with all the other new shows we have on now. We got Monday night with Roderick Watkins, right?
Yeah, we actually, we actually 2 hours. We're still maintaining our 2 hour segment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're still doing our 2 hour segments, but it's the official launch week of Loudmouth Radio Network, which we're broadcasting live with this week. And Roderick was on this week for an hour with the Universal Mind, like he was saying. And Jazzy Jones, her show's on Tuesday night, the Bare Truth with Jazzy Jones, which was on Tuesday night. And now we're back on there on Thursdays. Thursdays only now, no Monday and Thursday, just Thursdays now, so we can make sure our content is good, strong, and juicy, right, Mr. Controversial?
Yeah, we're going to try to. We're going to try to keep the interest up and give the folk what they want. And I'm excited to see, what the future has for us. I had learned that, take it one day at a time, and we don't know what's going to happen, and we're just going to go with it, and we're going to stay prayed up and stay focused. And every time we're on air, we're going to try to make it better. And that's what we're all about, improving. So it's good to be back on the air again. And I've been putting on Facebook, this evening and putting the number out there and asking not only, my friends, also a group that I started called the Prayer of Jabaz. And I told my 204 friends on that page and that group to call in and share a positive story, because we're all about uplifting and motivating and sharing with how good God has been in our lives. So I invited all 204 of my Prayer of Jabaz friends to call in tonight and just give a testimony if they wanted to, and use this platform to share something good and powerful that may inspire somebody else. So to all my Prayer of Jabaz group page friends, definitely make sure you call in tonight and just share a testimony and just share something good, a good story, or something that has happened to you that will encourage someone else who may be just barely holding on. You never know how your story will help someone else. I know that over the past couple of days, I've had, so many conversations with friends who were just ready to give up, Sonny. They were just ready to give up. They were ready to just throw in the towel. And I think I even posted that you never know what people are going through. You can't tell by looking at them. A lot of people walk around in a lot of pain but got a big smile on their face. So I want to use this
I remember seeing
platform.
that.
Yeah, yes. I want to use this platform as just an opportunity in a way for people to call in and share their stories, or to even seek advice, or just to have someone to talk to. So everybody out there who's listening, please, utilize Sonny and myself as your sounding board tonight. If you just have something you want to talk about, or something you want to share, or something you want to just let the world know that you have overcome, or something you're going through.
Absolutely. I think that it's important that, just in the world, there's a lot going on. There's always something going on. But, the main thing that we just need to do as beings is to remember that there's always an ability to shift, and even for myself, you have times where you have challenges. You have all types of things, whether they're personal, social, or business related. Or even when you're having empathetic moments of other people, you just want to just try to maintain a balance of remembering and the notion of knowing that there's a higher vibration that we could, just try to, go towards, and just try to keep our minds in a more positive space, and basically not take the things that are happening around us to say that they're happening to us, and when you can reflect that and kind of shift that, it kind of helps to alleviate a lot of times some of the pressures and the things that we encounter every day, because that's life. We can't escape it. Nobody's immune to it. It's just the factor of balancing those things. I think today I had commented myself on some things in regards to allowing your spiritual growth to reflect on things that you feel. Because sometimes, like, I had some things in my spirit that had been, kind of sitting in my spirit for a couple of days, and sometimes when it's things that are, are sensitive subjects, or sometimes if it's involving someone else that you're close to, sometimes you don't know how to always go about, dealing with it. And reflection, meditation, praying, however, whatever you may do to try to help balance those things and allow yourself to find a resolve. It all helps, So even with these, different groups like Facebook and Twitter, and, the social networking has helped to bring a bridge that a lot of times people would have normally not have. And, it's so funny. You hear people talk about, there's so much drama in this and drama in that, drama on Facebook. I don't have a Facebook page. I don't have this. And really what people fail to realize is, sometimes that's evident of what you're attracting, or what's happening, in your space, and what you're putting out, or what's coming back to you. So I'm just grateful I have not been one of those people to have that type of negative reaction on social networking or social boards. Even if you have somebody that do something kooky, delete them, block them, or whatever. Just keep it going, but don't let that stop you or disturb you. You know what I'm saying?
You're right about that. So for everybody who's tuning in, you are listening to Night Talk with JL and Sonny. We're back on the air. Sonny, you want to give them some call-in information, how they can listen in, and also, when you told me that we had, close to 8,500 people, 8,500 people had.
Yeah, we've exceeded that.
Show.
Yeah, we've well exceeded that. For all of those who are just now catching up with us, if this is your first time hearing us on air, welcome to Night Talk Live with JL and Sonny. This is our first broadcast on the new Loudmouth Radio Network, but this will be considered our fifth broadcast. JL and I started this project back in January, which I had established Night Talk Live as a standalone platform initially, kind of as a test platform, and as things were progressing and we wanted to make certain decisions and certain moves, I just definitely wanted to, as a producer, bring this over to what I had already started establishing, which was Loudmouth Radio. So now what's happened, we've had people that have listened to our shows, which you still can listen, and that's the great thing about the Blog Talk Radio. You can archive shows that have been broadcasted. Even if you miss it live, you can go on demand and listen to these shows. And every time somebody listens, whether they listen through their cell phone, through their internet, their Windows media player, through their iPhones, all of that information just continues to tally. So I shared with JL, we had a couple of shows that were very different. We did one about sex trafficking. We did a show about healthy relationships. We did a show that was like free, speak your mind, just whatever was on your mind, on your heart, let's talk about it. We were kind of freelance in regards to our topic and our conversation that day. and we had our intro show. So when I went back and looked at the numbers, I was like, wow, we can actually see how many live listeners that we had and the people that have archived the show. And JL, our Free Your Mind show was like stupid, dude. It was like over 3,000 to 4,000 people had listened to it. Yeah, I think it was in the month of February and March. The March numbers were just as great as the February numbers. And which is incredible. So just that show alone had almost 7,000 listens.
It's funny you said about that show, because I remember that show. We were just talking. I don't know where we were going. We didn't have no format. We didn't have no subject. We were just venting. We were just talking.
Yeah, I was over here crazy. I was like, dude, can you stay on
and we were trying to fill up, and really be honest with our listeners, we were just trying to fill up 2 hours.
It was one of them days. You was like, yeah, so we're going to have a great show this next show. I was like, okay. So, all our listeners, I feel wholeheartedly that, my co-host, he was like, yeah, we're gonna have a free show, because we kind of came off a heavy topic. If you remember, we did the sex trafficking. It was a lot of information, a lot of context, and it was like a lot of information that was thrown out there. And, sometimes when you deal with a heavy subject like that, you want to come back with something a little bit softer, a little more, lighter to the spirit.
Free flow. We free flowed that night. We just free flowed and we laughed.
Man.
I think I was tired. You was tired. I was tired, you was tired. I think we was both hungry, and we were just rambling. I was like, oh my God, these 2 hours never gonna last.
That was called listen to our issues.
So I'm glad that we got over 7,000 listeners to tune in. And also, because we talk about numbers, to all of our listeners and who are listening now and who will come back and listen to our show later. Again, this is a great platform for you to advertise your business, your project, even your event. So I need for you to reach out to Sonny on our Facebook Live page. She's going to give you the email address. So we got some special rates going right now so we can get you. We want advertisers. We really need our advertisers to support us and nonprofits as well. So this is a great opportunity for you as a nonprofit organization to let us know what's going on in the city. If you got a party coming up or even a birthday wish, call us. Let us wish a happy birthday to you or someone in your family or your lover, your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, as well as.
And don't forget, man, call and talk. Let's talk about the topics here. I be producing over here, dude. This week I told JL, I said, man, get your next 3 to 4 topics together. Let's do it. Let's roll. And the first thing, we was talking about some serious shit like Molly. We're gonna get into that deeper, but JL was like, well, we need to talk about drugs in the LGBT community and how it's affecting it. And, of course, me doing my little Master's of Doctorate of Scientific Studies, I went online and started researching, this subject, and I was like, oh, my God. So teeth chattering started happening. I was like, this is a little bit alarming. So, it's important, man. We need to know what's going on in our communities and how people are dealing. See, your point, JL, about, your group. That's a prime example as to why it's so important that we talk about this, because, like, what happens when people don't have Facebook, they don't have phones, or they don't have internet or some type of access to the world outside of their surroundings, where they can't know how to deal with conflict or deal with issues. So a lot of times people go to substance abuse. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And that can be in forms of drugs, alcohol, even people, somebody might be getting their head bashed in because somebody don't know how to deal with their issues. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
None of these topics are something to skimp over. So I really commend you on choosing this, because we talked about, I think you mentioned this subject back in February. So when we took our little hiatus, we kind of sat still for a little bit and kind of get our stuff together and, wanted to bring this. And, I'm glad that you decided to let this be one of the topics we bring back coming forward. So, like you said, JL, let me give some people some info, man. We are live on loudmouthradio.com. So if you type that right into your browser, you can listen to us right on the computer, your iPad, your iPhone, your Android, any of those good things you got. You also can dial in at 347-826-7520. You can actually talk with us both as a live a live listener and talk to the host, anything you have in question. We also are open for chat online. So if you go to our Blog Talk online, you'll see that we have a chat open where you can post questions, comments, and things of that nature, and we'll address whatever's going on and what you're saying and what you're asking. Whether JL or I need to speak on your behalf because you don't want to say something physically over the line where everyone can hear you. We want to get at discretion. And on Facebook, our Facebook listeners, if you're online, you can listen to us on Facebook Live. Our page to like and to keep following everything is facebook.com/loudmouthonline, which will give you our sexy looks, JL. We got some pictures and everything. We've been doing it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm sorry. Yes, we do. A lot of people give us a lot of love on our new branding look, and we're excited. We're going to get better. We always are going to get better. Even though not only with the Loudmouth Network, but also with Loudmouth, the brand, and our personalities and our air personalities. We're all about getting better, even individually. We're just all about getting better. And we need you, our listeners, to help us get better by giving us your input. Your suggestions are welcomed. We are always open for suggestions. We're always open for our critics as well, to let us know what we're doing bad or what we're doing good. We welcome. We don't have thick skin, like a thin skin, where we can take constructive criticism. And constructive criticism is good. It only makes us better for what we're trying to do for you. This station, this show, this program is all about empowering and educating and uplifting the LGBTQ community. So, again, all of our sponsors, nonprofit and for-profit, please get in contact with Sonny so we can help you promote and grow your business. So before we get into the show, this is like we always do, and what I would like to know is what's going on in your world, Sonny? What's going on in your world? And I'll share what's going on in my world, and let's talk about what's going on in the world. And then we'll kind of move into our subject. I did invite two experts that work in the field. One works in the field of HIV prevention, and I wanted him, Greg Smith, executive director of an up-and-coming organization in Atlanta, to call in and talk about how drugs impact the spread of HIV and other STDs. Hopefully he could get away to call, and also invite another friend of mine out of Chicago who also works at a substance abuse center to call in and talk about that. And I'm hoping that she is available as well. These people have such busy schedules, and it was my fault for asking at the last minute, but I got my fingers crossed. If they don't call in, I'm sure we got some listeners out there who do work with substance abuse or who have worked in that field, social work, that might want to call in and share some expertise with our listeners.
Nice.
So, Sonny, what's going on? What's been going on in your world?
Well, man, I think first and foremost, I'm just have to recognize and say that I'm just so grateful. Since we've been off air, I had a personal family circumstance that took place. My mom had a stroke, and which was like totally, nobody's ever really expecting or ready. It's not something you plan. But, when you have a parent that has not really ever been sick or, had like major issues and things of that nature, and it's like you don't expect it. And it was right in the midst of us, preparing for this launch and the merger of everything. So that really just gave me a new position, a new outlook on so many things, and it just really kind of made me focus even harder on the things that I needed to get. Sometimes how things happen, and you say, you know what, sometimes things just make you feel like you got to get your house in order. You know what I'm saying? So I was just so grateful. I got there the day after, and my mom had to have surgery, and, considering the severity of it, it's nothing short of a miracle at all. And so since then, I was in the process of, just really, I've been on this rebranding of Loudmouth and, preparing myself to deal with all the various media personalities, which is what you need to make sure you coin yourself.
Okay. Media personalities.
Okay. Yeah, when you have, I have my own stuff that is in the shelf on my mind, and then I have all these great creative brains of people that I'm saying, okay, I need to line these folks up into the direction in which we're headed. So, as the producer hat here, I've been extremely busy with that, which also is navigating over to the Loudmouth TV and the Loudmouth Radio and just the whole multimedia brand itself. Also just trying to keep up with you and your demands.
Right. You're talking to very demanding.
Yeah, so, but which is good because I feel like we all have to be accountable for one another.
Right,
especially when your closest friends' desires, you want to make sure that people are, staying on path. So, with that, and then just my own personal branding. Like today, dude, I've had my Instagram on the shelf like forever. Just finally today got like my profile picture up, started posting, images, and I had already had like 50 people following me. I had nothing there. When I say nothing, it was no more than I had my profile name and I had initiated the account, but it's been sitting there for months. You know what I mean? So, was working on all of that, and just kind of working on all the platforms, man, and working on what's to come, and what's in front of me, and kind of, just trying to stay focused, I think is the biggest thing.
Gotcha. And, I know when you drove up to Chicago, I know that had to be a little stressful to just jump out. You just kind of like, we're going to Chicago, and you guys were out, right? I
was up and out in like hours. As I got the call about 11:30 on a Thursday night. Friday, I was on my way up and got a call that she had to have emergency surgery, so that just really intensified the trip, and it took me like 12 hours to get there, which normally it doesn't take that long, and then coming back was even worse because I was only sleeping like 2 hours a day. So it took me like 17 hours to come back home that following week. And then the thing about it was right in the time with the time change. So, you already went an hour back, and then the hour changed. So, man, that was a mess. Wow. I felt like I went to Vegas and back. It was like, I'm so tired.
God is good. God is good. God is good. He got you guys there and back, and you didn't miss a beat. So, and your mom is doing well. So that's good. That's good. So I'm glad to hear that, things are still on the up and up and moving forward. So what's going on in my world is just constantly reinventing my mind and looking at the opportunities and working with some amazing new writers, as a writing coach and as a writing instructor. I'm working with probably about 5 different new writers who are writing books, and I am the ghostwriting their book, or I'm collaborating with them. And I got some very interesting. All of them are part of the LGBT community, and got some very interesting new books coming out. One guy who I just started working with, who's not part of the LGBT community, but he's writing a book called From Atlanta to Hollywood, Chasing a Dream. And he was one of the pit boys on the RuPaul show, a straight guy who ended up being one of the pit boys. If you watch RuPaul's Drag Race, those are the 2 attractive guys that walk around in their underwear or brief pair of drawers and kind of add some sex appeal. So it's his memoir. So that's going to be a real interesting book that's going to be out this summer. I'm working with a sister out of Detroit who's working on a book about finding your inner self and your inner peace, and she owns a meditation spa there in Detroit.
Nice.
Working with another,
in Detroit, you said?
Yeah, Detroit, yes.
Okay.
Working with a good friend, mutual friend of ours, who's writing his story about life in his shoes, and he talks about his journey to from being homeless and all the stuff he went through just to find some peace. And again, so God is really blessing me and sending me some really good people who really want to tell their stories, and it's always my passion.
Yeah, man, you put it in the atmosphere and it just starts coming to you, right?
Yes, put it out there. And as well as I'm looking to do some downsizing in my own personal life so I can be more fluid and be more free to do more things. And I think that all of us get to a point in our life where we take a close look at our lives, and we have to take a look with eyes wide open and say, okay, what in my life can I get rid of? that's holding me back, or what's in my life that I no longer need, I need to pass on, or that someone else benefit from it. So I've been going through that for the past probably year, where I'm really looking at how much I can get rid of to lighten the load that I carry, so I can lighten the load that I carry, so I can do more things. And I keep telling my friends, they look at me crazy, and I'll say this, but I tell them I'm trying to get to a place where I literally could live out of a suitcase if I had to. And it's been fun and exciting and scary at the same time, but I'm definitely on that mission. What else going on? Summer's coming up, and looking at doing some traveling this year. And I got a new book. My ex-wife and I just released a new book called The X Factor.
Yeah, man, and you did the Tom Joyner thing last week, too, right?
Tom Joyner show last Friday, so I want everybody to go to thexfactorbookandtour.com, and please order the book. It's a fabulous book. It's a book written that anybody, gay or straight, who has been through a relationship that kind of ended up on a negative note, how to regroup, how to love again, heal yourself, forgive, and move on. Powerful book, powerful. It's going to be featured on the Oprah Where Are They Now show. It's going to air in a couple of weeks, by the way. So get that. So we just wrapped that project up. And what else? I lost a lot of weight recently, so I'm trying to get my body together and my mind, spirit, and my emotions all in check so I can be a stronger, better person. So that's probably what's going on in the world. But the world of J.L. King is just working on me.
Yeah, man, I need to get back in the gym myself and get my sex back on, brother. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, girl, you tell me. I did a photo shoot this morning with fabulous 7 clicks. So 7, if you're listening on Facebook, make sure you call in. Thank you. And my personal stylist, Khalid, who came over this morning and he styled me, and that's those fabulous pictures you saw on Facebook tonight. And I was like, wow, I look so good. So I was happy to do that for
Look at you. I
let's tune it up. And it's for a reality show. So this gay reality show that my stylist, Khalid, is one of the cast members. So part of it was him styling me. So I was happy to do that for him. Again, all about supporting black business, black authors, black artists, black stylists, black designers, anybody that's black. I mean, everybody. We support everybody, but I have a special place in my heart for black businesses like the Sonny and JL Night Talk show. We are black business. That's why we need you to sign up and become an advertiser. I'm going to always throw that out there, Sonny. I want to always, you listen to any radio station, every 5 minutes, they are always pushing the importance of advertising, and they've got so many commercials. So we got to do the same thing.
We're on that path, and I'm extremely grateful, in regards to that. And I think that what happens is, as you progress and as you're growing, we're starting to kind of get some momentum. I think that people are realizing that, one of the wonderful things about what we're doing is that, we're in the main level of opportunity of reaching people. The internet by far has exceeded any and every other medium as far as reach. So, that's why my business has always been based on this medium. So, as a radio network, being on air and broadcasting on the internet, there's a lot of opportunity for those who are looking to expand and grow their business and want to grow their brand. If you're not, online, if you're not interactive as far as your information, if your information is not accessible for people to be able to get to and retrieve, then you just kind of shorten your, as my mother says, you cut your nose to spite your face. So you definitely want to get yourself, to a more advanced state. And it's a lot. A lot of people, not everyone has the same acronym when it comes to, interactive media. So, it's already enough just to maintain the day-to-day things that you need to do as a business owner. So it's important that, you take an opportunity and expand your business and get, bridge yourself on opportunities that are moving, that are attracting people. So, at this point, our show alone is attracting, 10 to 15,000 listens just from, less than 5 or 6 broadcasts. So when you have numbers like that are moving within a short period of time, and we haven't gotten, as aggressive as we're headed. So, as those things are happening, we cross over social networking, we cross over multimedia. So we give an affordable option for you to put your business out there. So my suggestion is that you look to contact us, which you can call us at 706-363-3895 from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. during our interactive business hours. And also contact us, and we'll email you out any information, give you some information about the projects that we have, times and opportunities to put your business on air and get your advertising or your business up. So,
do they get a 3-for-1? Because do they also get opportunity to advertise on Roderick's show and Jazz's show?
Yeah, there's an opportunity to have, depending on how they want to do it, they can be on one show and be showcased on one show or across all three. It just depends on, their decision. And, all of that is actually in the media kit in regards to, progressing your business from 15 to 30-second spots and, becoming a premier sponsor. So all these opportunities are there. It's just a factor of you making a decision to expand and expound on your services, product, whatever it is that you offer. And, definitely with, not just the factor that, we have, the good thing is we have such diversity. Our show kind of covers a lot of different areas. We're definitely in a market that attracts, the alternative dollar and alternative audience, as well as, mainstream demographics. But we also have, our show on Monday, Roderick's show, which is covering, a higher consciousness. So every show has a different demographic that it will reach. But overall, as an entire network, there's opportunities to grab any and all of that opportunity. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. And again, as a business owner myself, I'm always looking for ways to position new products, new books, new ideas. So for you to say we got 10,000 and growing listeners.
And that was just from one episode. So ultimately what that means now is that those numbers are increasing. And then the fact that even if you don't hear us live, people can go back and archive that and see that's the beauty of it. Once we create your segment, whether we actually, do it live or it's a pre-recorded audio in regards to your advertisement, it can always be archived and accessible at any time.
Exactly.
So that's big.
And one thing I'm going to add I'm going to run by you. I'm going to add to our show starting next week, is that we do a special 15 to 20 minute show because this is my passion, my vein, about books. I want to invite all the authors who have listened to us and will listen to reach out to Sonny and submit send her a copy of your book, and so we can read it prior to our next show. And every Thursday.
Gio, we got that actually set up as a featured show. Is that this next week's coming, or is that the week after?
I don't know if it's a feature show coming up or not, but I do want to make that part of our show because we got 2 hours to fill, and what better way of filling those 2 hours to take 15 to 20 minutes and really letting the author call in and just maybe read some of their book and take questions. There's authors.
Jail trying to cheat y'all, man. We got a whole show that's dedicated to authors and getting published and everything, so don't let him try to fool y'all. We're actually going to have a whole 2 hour show based on some opportunities. Yeah, man. Stop holding out on them, Jail.
Okay, so y'all give us Sonny and sign up because I'm going to start pushing it really hard. All my authors all over the country, all over the world who are writing books, who got books out, and this is a great, as you authors know, you got to get out there and promote and preach that book. So if you got a book out, you definitely need to give it Sonny, and so we can get your book in, so we can read it in advance, so we can invite you to be part of that special 2 hour show where we're going to focus on books.
That's right. I noticed, man, it seems like, I don't know if I'm just paying attention, but it seems like there's just more and more people that are getting to the point of having enough courage to speak and let their truth be heard, and I'm just loving it. I'm in that line. I supposed to have been writing over 15 years ago, but, it's never too late. It's never too late. So I encourage anybody that has the desire to do it.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna make this everybody's favorite place to come hang out on Thursday nights when we're on the air. We want you to hang out here right before Scandal comes on. Okay, so we are not going to take anything away from Scandal. So all you people who lean in for the Scandal show, I think I heard this morning on CNN or ABC or NBC that they are calling they call people who are addicted to Scandal almost part of an occult. Like it's like
that's
a
crazy.
cult following. Yeah, man. But I believe it because if you look at some of the comments all day long today, people was posting Scandal night, Scandal. Everybody ready for Scandal? So. Wow. So
well, look, we
we
on Night Talk Live time now. Look.
Yeah. You're right. So
this is a live broadcast. Yeah. Let me give our audience a little bit of tidbit of where we are. This is a live feed via internet on blogtalkradio.com. What you can hear is directly live on loudmouthradio.com. You can connect with us on Facebook and like our page. If you go to Facebook, you can actually put in Loudmouth Online, and it'll take you directly to our page. You can feel free to post questions, comments on our Loudmouth Radio page. If you have some things you want to suggest for us as topics, or you want to comment about the show if you've heard the show and stuff like that, we'll definitely see the feed and we'll respond to it. So currently we have 3 shows that are broadcasting. The Universal Mind on Monday nights with Roderick Watkins. Tuesday nights, The Bare Truth, Love, Sex, Relationships, and Flowers with Jazzy Jones. And Thursday nights, Night Talk Live with JL and Sonny. And each show is broadcast at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, we want to make sure if you guys desire to have some type of advertisement, a platform set up for your business, you guys should contact us from 10 to 6, Monday through Friday at our Loudmouth Media offices at 706-363-3895. And also remember that after each and every show, every program will be available for download and on demand anytime after 10 p.m. after each episode is broadcasted. So we just want you to know, man, this is one of the hottest online radio networks, and we're geared toward empowerment, inspiration, and entertainment. So make sure you stay tuned with us. It's available 24/7.
That's right, and we are going to be here for you. So I know we're going to be going into our subject tonight, which I'm looking forward to. I know you got all the facts and all the data. And I was trying to do some research, and I'm not going to do no research. I know Sonny's probably going to comb through everything on the internet dealing with.
You already know.
I know she already got stacks of information. I'm just going to share some personal stories about drugs and as well as some of my experiences dealing with gay men who I have met throughout my life who got caught up in the vicious cycle of drugs and how it really has had destroyed their lives. Again, drugs don't impact sexual orientation. Drugs have no love for you, no matter what color you are, no matter what if you're male or female, or no matter if you're gay or straight. Drugs does not care. It will destroy your life. And so I'm just going to share some stories after we get into some of the facts that you're going to share with us about all the various types of drugs, from LSD to meth to Molly to cocaine to
all the innuendos of how that affects you. What I think what people need to know is just how critical these drugs have become a destitute to people, because people are experimenting with so many different things. People really don't know what they're putting in their bodies. Matter of fact, I shared with the room that my mom just recently had this stroke, and some of the nurses, I was talking to them tremendously about a lot of different things, because I was really green about a lot of things and the effects of what was going on and what my mom was going to have to overcome and deal with. But at the same time, one of the young ladies was telling me that they're seeing more younger people stroking or having heart elements and heart issues because they're experimenting with drugs that they have what they consider a pleasure drug, but they have no clue the detriment and the effect of what it's doing to their bodies. So, when you have drugs that have all these mixes of things in them, and then you take it and put it in your body, and then it has some type of alternative effect to your organs and things of that nature, which you think you're just getting high, you actually maybe, tearing down your body. So what is happening now is that you got these drugs, man, where people around here doing a lot of crazy things. You know, weed and or marijuana used to be, you know, something that was the typical drug. You know, we've got weed far beyond just marijuana. So now it's getting to a point where people are in danger of their lives. So
you hear me?
yes.
Sorry.
And, you know, with that happening, yes, JL, we are here. With that happening, it's essential that people become aware of the impact of what these drugs can do. So you were saying, JL, before you kind of I kind of interceded. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got cut off, and I'm sorry. I know I was talking about but I wanted to share some stories. I don't know how much you heard, how much. I just want to share some stories of the impact of drugs that have had in the lives of friends and personally, and as well as my own personal view. You know, when you talk about like something like gun control, you know, everybody gets so sensitive when they talk about gun control. People are pro and con it, and the same thing with drugs. You got some folks that will argue with you tooth and nail about their drug addiction, and there's nothing you can say to them about what they do in the privacy of their home. So, you know, there's a fine line there. But again, when you're alcoholic or you're a drug or you're addicted to drugs, you know, we're bringing this subject up because we just want you to be aware, because we want our community to be healthy.
Mhm.
You know, we want our community to be healthy, so we really want to bring you up to par with what's going on, what's impacting our kids, what drugs are coming into your house, and how drugs are impacting your relationships, and how drugs will impact your life. So, and a lot of our listeners are parents. You know, we have a lot of parents that listen to us and follow us, and you know, they may not know what's going on. They may not know the new hot drugs that's in the market right now, and a lot of young gay LGBT kids, you know, they really get high. They go to the club, and you know, from X to meth to peanut to cocaine to all that. So again, this show tonight is just to kind of bring awareness. I'm the first one to say I'm no expert when it comes to drugs. I just know what I know, but we just want to bring awareness to everything that impacts all of us, and definitely drugs impact our community.
Yeah, you know what's crazy, JL, is that demographically, drug use amongst the LGBT community has uncovered. There's been a lot of surveys that have been happening. I pulled up some information of a 2-year survey that had actually shown that drug use is 7 times higher among gays, and more than a third of gay and lesbian bisexual people are taking at least one illegal drug in the last month, which is that's a very high integration. You're talking about 5% of the wider population, and this is even in Europe. You know, these statistics are coming across from, you know, worldwide to, you know, certain segmented areas, but overall the gay community, which I think the biggest reason why we actually see or find that is that the risk is higher because of the fact that the pressures of you know, coping with social issues. A lot of people are suffering in silence because family or society is not allowing them or wanting them to be who they feel that they are. So in order to escape from what they're experiencing or feeling, they're turning to drugs. And, you know, interesting enough, Jazzy, that does our show on Tuesday, just had a show about bipolar disorder. And, you know, if you even just take the fact that people that have mental issues are already being medicated. So when you start looking at the fact that you have people that may have other disorders or other issues, and then they start mixing other drugs into the situation where you have mental health issues, especially, you know, people dealing with depression and stuff like that, it becomes lethal. You know, you have drugs like ecstasy or Molly, things where people are mixing 2 to 5 different types of heavy, like cocaine, heroin, meth, and you know, pure drugs. You on a roller coaster to hell. You know, you really are in a situation where your life is going to be you know, and then affected from the point where you don't know even if you're taking them for a time period and you stop, you don't know how much of an effect that's going to have on your brain and your body, you know, later on.
You think that people don't care? You think that people who who really get strung out on drugs or alcohol, you think they really have they're hurting so bad that the drugs kind of take them away from their own reality, and as long as they can stay high, they don't have to deal with the reality of what's going on in their life.
And that's typically the case, JL. I think what's sad is that people are, what I find, too, is that, you find that this is a coping issue. People are not coping well with life overall. They're dealing with, or they're so influenced, sometimes, most likely their peers are using it. And, the sad part is that over 55% of gay men will develop a substance abuse problem at some point in their life. Which is even scarier. Crystal meth is one of the most heavy addictions in the gay population, which is considered over 40% higher than the rest of the country. These are some of the statistics that I pulled. Now, most likely for gay men, marijuana use, stimulants, sedatives, cocaine, party drugs like ecstasy, ketamine, these are different types of drugs that are mixed in, are much greater than men in the general population. And crystal meth is higher in gay and bisexual men, and it's increasing every year.
Wow.
Yeah, so when you find these type of situations, and then, your young gay people are suffering almost even greater because a lot of times they're not at that mature age to where they can necessarily deal with the family. They're not dealing well with family in the way the family is maybe receiving them or not, either there, if they've been pushed out. Some people, are dealing with being disowned by their family, don't know how to, speak or talk about the issues or the things that they're dealing with. So it gets to be, the parental rejection due to their sexual orientation. I believe that's probably one of the higher components that is pushing this issue.
And also, a lot of people attach good drugs to good sex, and, a lot of people say that, the LGBT community is so sexual driven, and we talked about that once before, but a lot of it is connected to drug usage. I know that whenever that I have been out or been involved in any type of activity, that drugs always is part of the kickoff of the party. Someone's always going to bring out a blunt, or they're going to bring out some type of pill, some type of powder, just to get it bad. Let's get our heads right first. You hear that. Let's get your head right before you go out to the club. Let me get my head right before my boy come over. Then, and before we have a little get together, and that's always seemed to be just part of the equation. I can't even think of the last time where I went to attend a party, house party or whatever, and somebody light up a joint, somebody light up a blunt. I mean, just unheard of, And if they didn't have one, trust me, even before they step out, the first thing they try to do is make phone calls, find out where can they get some.
Exactly.
And those friends of mine who maybe
got the shakes and shit, want to get it.
Or my friends who did have one of those jobs where they did random tests. They were too busy trying. They were getting so wasted on alcohol. So you really can't point your finger at them.
Though.
You can't put. I tell my alcoholic thing. You can't point your finger at somebody who wants to smoke weed when you throwing down cranberry and vodka like it's going out of style. You can't do that.
Exactly. And I'm gonna say this, and this is outside of our topic as far as our LGBT community. But let's talk even from a celebrity perspective. You got Lindsay Lohan. Who's just a poster board for rehabilitation to a point that they're just making it into a mockery. But, you see, and this has been a long history in the music industry, because unfortunately celebrities are more accessible to the public, and it's even greater beyond them. But, you look at people like Amy Winehouse. Like I had never really heard this sister's voice significantly until after she was already gone. I remember I was listening to Pandora one day, and I was listening to this. I was like, oh, my God, who is this soulful voice? I went and looked at the phone, and I was like, oh, my God, that's Amy Winehouse. And I remember one day I was watching a video, and Amy Winehouse was so zoinked out her mind, honey. When I tell you, she probably would have been playing a damn mic stand and thinking it was a guitar. JL, she was so out there. When I tell you, she was just, you could look at her and tell she was high as hell. But I went to art college. I went to SCAD. And dude, I would never forget this. One time I walked into this guy's room. I was trying to find somebody that was on the floor because I lived in a co-ed dorm. I walked into this dude's room. Our school had purchased a lot of buildings. I went to school in Savannah, in the Savannah campus. So if you've been to Savannah, Savannah is, a historic city. And SCAD has been significant in historic preservation. So they started purchasing a lot of old hotels, like the old Holiday Inns, Ramada Inns. So there was one that was right near the bridge that they purchased. And so you remember how the old school hotel rooms were, where they had the air conditioners on the floor, the big, the big floor model. I walked into this dude's room one day, JL, when I tell you that man's AC unit was tore to pieces to where you could see the carburetor. I walked into his room. I was like, damn, dude. I said, what happened to your air conditioning? What happened to your AC unit? He looked up. He was like, I just snipped all the Freon out of it.
Are you
like, oh, my God. I was like,
no
are you serious? When I tell you that dude, when I tell you the coils was hanging out that thing, JL, it was a mess.
Even when you talk about Amy Winehouse, I'm a big fan of, I think TV One's Unsung, and all of those groups on there that they highlight, all of them have had to deal with drugs that destroy the groups.
Yeah, man. I mean, come on, Jimi Hendrix, John Belushi, Elvis Presley. I mean, we can go. We have lost some great people.
Yes, Melba Moore, Stephanie. I mean, all of them have dealt with drug and even Temptations. I mean, they did a piece about the Temptations and all the Temptations.
Yeah, like 2 of them just died.
All of them, yes. So
2 of them just died.
Drugs definitely impact not only the LGBT community, but it also impacts everybody. But we wanted to talk about the LGBT community because you get growing numbers, and it just always is in our face, man. And it has a lot to do with your sexual behavior as well, because you get so high, next thing you want to do is have sex and make whoopee, and sometimes you let your guards down because your mind is free and you just go for it. That's when you just go for it. And I'm sure that if we had one of our experts call us and tell us, I'm sure they'll say that a lot of it is connected to the spread of HIV and other STDs, because drugs play a big role. I remember at a conference that the state of Georgia had one, since a speaker talked about how drugs have a major role to play in the spread of sexually transmitted diseases.
Exactly, dude. It's crazy. I don't. I was trying to think of the guy's name that had recently was talking about the Molly drug. And a lot of in my arena, a lot of the comedians have been going in about Molly, because there was some topics about people literally jumping on people eating their face, so they call it the zombie drug.
Really? I love the calling. Really? It's crazy like that?
Hey, I'm sorry about that. I don't know. We had a little bit of a interruption there, a little hiccup. All our listeners, I hope you're still there with us. But literally, the Molly drug has become a zombie drug, is what we've been hearing. The terminology of it. Yeah, we kind of got blanked out there for a second. So if anybody, we had a little bit of a blackout there. We're still on air. We're in the midst of talking about the Molly drug and how sensitive the zombie drug done became to where you got people eating people's face.
So tell me, break down what the Molly drug is. Break down to me, what exactly is Molly? Well,
it's a drug that has become a mixture of amphetamines and I don't want to mess this word up, but I'm going to try to say a methamphetamine drug, and it's a wider version of ecstasy, which, you know, ecstasy and those pills are considered street pills. And it has a powder or crystalline form and a higher level of purity. So it can induce euphoria, which is a sense of intimacy, and diminish anxiety. So what's happened is, you know, if people are familiar with ecstasy had became very popular because of how people would respond to it. You hear a lot of people doing sexcapades because of usage of ecstasy. So Molly has become something significantly higher to where it's causing people to do, which is violent, you know, almost a violent form of ecstasy. It has it's the same drug with the same effects, but they kind of rebranded it because I think it's a little bit stronger than maybe what it was when it first was introduced. But they kind of look like, I can't remember that candy, but you remember how they used to sell the little candy that was green and pink and yellow, looked like little pills, like, but you would, you know, they were hard candies.
Right.
That's similar to what you see a lot of them packaged on the street. And what happens is Molly increases your heart rate, can cause dehydration, which can lead to heat strokes, muscle spasms, comas, and even death.
Wow. Is it expensive on the street? How much is it? How much do they go for? Are they expensive?
Well, you know, I'm not selling it personally, but I would consider to say that it's probably very affordable because, you know what I'm saying, you got even kids in high school messing around with it. I don't know if it may be penny candy type change. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, probably average, I don't know, $10 or something like that, maybe a pill.
I know ecstasy they're going for. I got a good girlfriend of mine. She sells ecstasy, and she said she got the best that's on the market. And I asked her, you know, because I knew it was going to the show, what did she sell her pills for? And she said they're $10 a piece because she got top grade, and she's a lesbian, and she hits the clubs, and she gets all her business at the club. So she said she'll go to a club, any of the clubs on Thursday nights, Wednesday nights, with the young club that she goes to, like 7 or 8, some of the others. She said that she could make a killing because she got the X, she got the Coke, she got the weed, she got everything that the kids are looking for.
She's a street pharmacist all the way for real, right?
Yeah, all day long. She don't go to the club. She stands outside. Everybody knows she's there. And she said when she pulls up, she's rolled in. When she leaves, she's empty, pockets full of money because she has sold out. And on top of that, she's got so good at what she does, she delivers. So you don't have to even go to the hood.
Yeah, man, because I'm just saying, like, how you really, like, you hit a city, you like, you know what, I need to get to some of that Molly. You know what I'm saying? Ain't like nobody just walk around with a Molly stick on their back, you know. I mean, really and truly, you probably, like, you know, what do? Walk around and see somebody foaming at the mouth? Where you get that from? You know what I'm saying? I mean, really.
The underground market, I mean, come on now, even where I live in Atlanta, you know, I go to a gas station nearby, and you got the guys sitting on the corner. They just looking at you, what you need. You know, you walk by, or you know, you pumping gas. They're walking by like, what you need. You know what I mean? They're out there 24. They're out there 24/7. So I think you can find any type of drugs you need anywhere in any city in the country and beyond by just knowing the right place to go. But you could be taking a chance, or if you're going to be buying from. If you really buy from an underground, undercover cop or whatever, but yeah, this is where I live.
That's my thing.
And they're everywhere. I mean, all the little boys are out there literally 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. They are out there pushing their product. So
that's crazy.
So easy. Yeah, and there's high schools nearby, so the accessibility of it is really, really, really easy. But I'll say that's something. I think drug control is going to be an issue. That the government is going to have a hard time.
But you know what? Let's challenge something else too, JL, because you know right now some of the things that's happening that is become a huge topic of right now, and maybe this is it maybe could give an indication of how something can change. But like, you know, imagine you got people who are fighting for rights to love someone that they're with. You know, the court, the Supreme Court issues right now in regards to allowing, you know, gay marriage. So imagine, you know, because really studies are indicating that compared to mainstream heterosexual populations, LGBT people are more likely to use drugs, have higher rates of substance abuse, and are more likely to continue drug abuse later in life. So what happens when we have something like this that can impact the community and say, well, you know what, we're not going to crunch you from allowing you to be you? How much of a difference do you think that can make in regards to people not depending so much on drug abuse when there's more equal ground within the society? What are your thoughts on that? Let's ask the room that. Let's ask, our audience, let's take some questions if somebody wants to interject and say something.
And also, I want to ask a radio question. If again, you have total privacy. If you have ever been, this is a question I'm posing to our audience, our listenership. If you have ever had an addiction with any type of drug whatsoever, and you were able to win your addiction, please call in and share your story, because that could help someone else that's struggling with their addiction and they're too embarrassed to reach out to help. Or, again, I keep saying about people don't have the insurance to go seek help. So how were you able to beat your addiction, and what advice can you give to someone who is suffering in silence, or they don't feel like they're suffering but they know they got an addiction? What can they do to get help, and what advice can you give them on how you won your victory, your battle, to beat your addiction? Again, I think this is a subject we really would like to get some input from our listener audience. And Sonny, at the top of the hour right now, why don't you tell us how they can reach us and listen to us and give us a little promo?
Absolutely. We're live on loudmouthradio.com, the new Loudmouth Radio Network. And tonight our show, Night Talk Live with JL and Sonny, is live. We actually been about an hour in into the show, and our broadcast topic tonight is the impact of drugs in the LGBT community. And we actually are live to where you can call in at 347-826-7520. You can also Skype, as well as follow us on Facebook, or go directly to our page, loudmouthradio.com. We'll take you to our broadcast, and you actually can listen in live and see and hear what we're talking about tonight. Now, thus far we've paneled and spoken in regards to the impact and the demographic of how much the LGBT community is impacted by drugs. We're talking about the drugs in regards to the community that has become popular. So if you're on Facebook, you can actually listen directly on Facebook. You can also go to our page, which is facebook.com/loudmouthonline, and follow. I actually just posted an article that was just posted up recently that the police is talking about, a huge warning in Greensboro, North Carolina, about Molly. So, this is an epidemic that's spread across the country. We want to make sure that you're able to call in and speak to us live. So we're actually on chat too. So if you want to talk to us online, you can also come into our chat room and speak to us freely. And JL or myself will address you.
You sure will. I remember, please do me one. I remember the first time I smoked a joint. I probably it was before blunts were, I'm old school, so we did the whiteboards, and then the blunts came much later. But I remember I had a buddy I was in high school with who had got his own, he was renting a house. He was in high school, and all of us would go to his house after school and at lunchtime and get high. And he would have the best weed. And back in the day, you could get we call them a lid, or you get like a dime bag with like 3 fingers, 4 fingers, big, fat, huge, good, high quality weed, and we would get so high, go back to school and just nod and laugh and giggle and eat and have the munchies, and those were good old days. I miss those days.
Yeah, because it used to be weed was the main thing that people would do. Now, man, these kids got guts beyond words. I couldn't even imagine. Messing with some of this stuff.
We wasn't shooting up, we wasn't snorting up, but it was there, trust me. It was making the heroin been around forever. But we would just get high, the music, we would listen to the Temptations and the Supremes and just sit there in his living room and just get high. The room would be so full of smoke, and we would sit there and get high at lunchtime, and it'd just be buzzed up. And get in our cars and turn the music up and go back to school, and we'd be smelling like weed, and those were good old days. I miss those days. And I used to sell a lot of weed, too, back in the day. I was in the military. Hey, I'm putting it on out there. I put it out there. Back in the day when I was in the military and married, I would buy a pound. It would be nothing for me to buy 2 or 3 pounds.
And get it
2 or
in.
3 pounds a week. And my ex-wife and I, we would put it in the freezer. And we would get baggies, and we would sell dime bags and $20 bags. And I remember when God is so good, hallelujah, hallelujah. I remember one time when I was in college, my roommates and I was in the military and going to University of Michigan, up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And one weekend, my roommates and I, we crossed the Canadian border to go over to Canada to buy some weed. To buy like 4 pounds.
Wow.
We were 18, 19 years old. We crossed the international border to go into Canada to buy about 3 or 4 pounds of weed. You could get a pound of weed back in the day for like $100. And I remember coming back across the border, how they would randomly stop cars and, check and make sure you wouldn't bring any illegal stuff back in the United States. And I remember we got stopped. We had 4 pounds of weed. I would still be in the federal penitentiary today.
Wow.
That was 40 years ago that they had searched our car. So, again, I definitely have had my dealings with in marijuana. Again, like I said earlier, I am pro legalization of marijuana, and I'm sure a lot of people may agree on this.
Well, this is it in Colorado, where they have allowed them to do it in Colorado, but
California and Connecticut, and other. But even the President Obama said if it was up to him, he would even legalize marijuana. He said he would. He said he smoked a joint. So I think people got their panties in a bunch too much when it comes to marijuana. But there's a lot of people say, well, if you legalize weed, legalize all the other drugs, people will find some type of justification to legalize those as well. So I think we got a long way to go to get to a place. But I think eventually I think marijuana will be legalized because once the United States see how much money they're losing by not legalizing it, I think that they will, just almost like prohibition and when they did alcohol. And I really don't like being around people who get drunk. Because I don't drink. I'm not an alcoholic. If I do drink, I'm a teetotaler. I drink socially. I don't drink to get drunk, ever. So I'm not one of those individuals who goes to a bar. If I go to a bar with you, I may have one little light margarita, and that's it. One drink, and I am good to go.
Wow.
I got my ex-lover. He was an alcoholic, and it was nothing for him to go to a whole bottle of Patron when we went out, and you go to any club or bar in Atlanta, anywhere, a shot of Patron that costs you $12, and it was nothing for him to have a $200, $250 bar bill just for drinking Patron shots. I mean, one time we went out to Houston's in Buckhead, and before we had dinner, Sonny, he was I don't know what they call a working alcoholic. He was an alcoholic.
He was functional.
Functional, that's the one I'm looking for. Our bar bill, we got the check for our Houston's dinner. The bar bill and the key, I wasn't drinking nothing. The bar bill tab for our dinner was $350. That was just him drinking Patron shots. Wow. That was just him drinking double Patron Platinum shots. The bill for his, I wasn't drinking. That was no food. That was just making by himself. It was $350. The meal was $125. You see what I'm saying? So functional alcoholics, if they don't know they're alcoholic, and you can't even tell them that they're alcoholic because they will get crazy on you.
Yeah, most alcoholics don't want to be labeled, huh?
No.
But
they will get crazy on you.
So do you know of anybody that has that you know personally that has functioned or messed around with the Molly?
No, I have not. That's just new to me. When I brought it up to you and to Roger, it was at Roger's house. I mean, I had read up on something about it, and they had been talking about it, and what it was doing to young people in high school, and I was like, wow, what is this? I've been around people who've been really high on ecstasy. I've been around people who've been messed up on cocaine. I've been around people who
we got a caller want to talk to us, too. It's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Caller, you live with Loudmouth Radio, Night Talk.
Hey, guys, it's Rod calling in.
Hey, Rod. You was just burning his ears up, weren't you, JL?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I heard you. I've been following you. I was on my way home, so I had y'all on the phone or listened to y'all on the radio.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So no, I just wanted to call in. I didn't really have any questions or anything like that, but definitely an interesting topic tonight. Looking forward to hearing more in regards to this. And, yeah, we were talking about, I caught when Jael was saying we were talking about Molly and stuff, and I just find it so interesting that, you know, all these rappers, I mean, it's in every song on there. So it's like Molly has a free marketing campaign going out there. You know, who's ever marketing her is doing a good job because every rap song on the radio, and they don't bleep it because, you know, they just think you're saying some girl's name. So you have, all the kids know what it is, but the parents probably don't even have an idea of what the kids are listening to about their, you know, listening to in regards to telling these kids to go ahead and pop a Molly to have a good time. So it's
yeah, that's dangerous. That's just severely dangerous and negligent.
So, Roger, let me ask you this, if I may ask you a question.
Oh, yes, sure, go ahead.
So how do you feel about Mariana?
Mariana. How you like about that Mariana?
Mariana.
That's that new
shit. I can't even talk. Excuse me. I mean, you think they should legalize? Grass?
You know, I am for the legalization of marijuana. I think that it's already probably, I don't have any statistics to back this up, but I'm sure it's used regularly by a large percentage of Americans. And most of the studies, you know, that come back, I mean, still have been inconclusive as far as the negative impact. Not saying that it doesn't have any. You know, I'm not. I mean, alcohol definitely has a lot of has some negative side effects, and it's still legal. So I just think that any type of substance that you're going to use, you know, use it responsibly.
Okay.
Use it responsibly. So, yeah, but I'm for the legalization of marijuana.
You say you're for it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hey, my man. High five to you. High five.
Where the weed is.
You know, that's how I see here in Georgia, though.
Oh, high five. Yeah, anybody, again, I think I agree with Roderick. I think that eventually it's going to be legalized. Roderick, we appreciate you calling in, and you have a safe drive home. And, again, congratulations on your show, which that I enjoyed so much, and I can't wait to hear you again. You want to give your show a plug real quick?
Oh, yeah. Please tune in Universal Mind by with Roderick Watkins on Monday at 8 p.m. Next week's topic will be meditation. And so I'm looking forward to that. Actually, it'll be about meditation and prayer and how are they helpful in your life. So look forward to that. We have some good guests on that evening, so it should be a real fun show.
Oh, I think I'm going to light one up and tune in.
Say again?
I think I'm going to light one up and tune in and meditate with y'all.
Let's hope we do. I mean, I'm just saying.
Okay, Rodney, thank you so much, my man.
All right, you guys have a good night. I'll continue listening. Okay, bye-bye.
Okay, so, yeah, you know, like I said, like Rodney said, that everybody, you know, the majority of the country is smoking. Didn't smoke every day. You remember back in the day, well, you probably don't remember, when they had Chicken Chong. Chicken Chong had their smoking movies, and even back to
anything in the 70s, they was just freely
smoking. Name of Woodstock. Woodstock was a big smoke out, you know, so for your mind and your ass will follow, that type of thing. So, and
what
you
did
know,
you say?
free your mind, your ass will follow. That was one of the.
Oh my God!
That was look it up. That was Woodstock. If you look at go back into your history in the 70s. I grew up in the 70s. That's when they had psychedelic drugs and the psychedelic posters and the black lights.
Oh yeah.
Club 57 or Club 54 in New York City where
Club 54 I think it was.
54 got high and smoking bongs. Remember bong? Everybody had a water pipe and a bong.
Absolutely, sir.
You know,
can I tell you, dude, like literally, when I played basketball over in France and was living over there, and I remember The bones was like ridiculous over there. And I wasn't but some hours away from Amsterdam where, they basically have it over there where you can buy like you in the grocery store. So, weed is not going to make you want to eat nobody's face unless you just already just want to eat somebody's face. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think
Jeffrey Dahmer type stuff.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm just not accustomed to thinking that, you saliving at the mouth because you just want to taste my cheeks. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Again, I think a lot of your HIV health educators say that's why they had the needle exchange. The needle exchange. The people was sharing needles when they were sitting up to get high. So again, I think the drugs play just a big impact on the spread of sexually transmitted diseases. And if you don't have a expert calling in and talking about that, I would highly recommend to our listeners. I always tell people, do your own homework. Again, we live in an age where you can just Google any and everything, and a lot of us got smartphones or iPads where you don't have to Google. You just say to your iPad, look up this, and they will find it for you. I love that when I can just talk to my iPad and tell her to find something for me, and she finds it. So
exactly.
Again, do your homework and get the facts for yourself and be educated and enlightened, especially if you're a parent and you don't really know what's really going on with your children or their friends. I think it would be wise and smart for you at least to find out a little bit what's going on in the schools and what your kids are doing and what they could be doing and what they may even be offered. I'm not saying that your kids are getting high or doing Molly's, but maybe some of their friends are. And sometimes, as you look back when you were a teenager and you know how big peer pressure is, so you might definitely want to get your facts about Molly, marijuana, and everything else is out there that could impact the livelihood of your kids.
Exactly. So as far as had you looked into any preventive programs that anybody really been pushing for towards just in our community in the Atlanta area?
I did. I got a buddy who works for me part time, and he's a really active member with AA and NA and Narcotics Anonymous and Alcoholics Anonymous. And he told me that he go to meetings. He said there's no way that you can get treated unless you are part of a support group. So he goes on Mondays and Wednesdays to AA, on Thursdays and Fridays. He goes to NA because he said without that support group, he knows that he would fall back into his drug habit. He said, I have to go. So the most simple way to do this is to really be part of a support group and have those people to support you. And he goes literally, religiously, 4 nights a week. I call AA and NA. And he said to me, if it wasn't for that, never he could say to somebody, no, I don't want to hit that joint. No, I don't need to do no cocaine. No, I don't want to have none of that, because he knows in his head he got his support group that will tell him it's wrong. And he said for years, his kidneys are messed up because of the drinking. He looks like an old man. He's only in his 30s. He looks like he's in his late 70s because of the drugs. And he has said to me, when even when he's at a party or go out and somebody lights up a joint or alcohol, or he leaves, and that's what a support group does. It gives you the strength to be able to just walk away and call your sponsor. Because when you're part of a group,
exactly.
You get a sponsor.
And let me share this little tidbit, JL. I actually just pulled something here that 5 signs your teen could be using the club drug Molly, because it appears that it has become a heavy resurgence even across. This is in like Upper New York area where there's been a huge spike. And they said that it's a synthetic psychoactive drug that increases feelings of energy, euphoria, emotional warmth, and empathy toward others, and has distortion in sensory and time perception. So they said these are 5 things that you can look for if your child or your teen has been using it, but jaw clenching, a sudden loss of appetite, high and low temperatures, signs of depression such as sadness, and not being able to get out of bed for an extended period of time.
Wow.
So,
really?
Yes, and the short-term effects of the drug could include confusion, strange cravings, sleeping problems, memory loss, blurred vision, muscle tension, rapid eye movement, profuse sweating, and fever. So that's a good sign that they could be overdosing if there's, a large amount, because it can cause seizures and cardiac arrest. So that's what I was telling you. Like nurses were telling me that they're starting to see people in their teens, 20s, whose brains are getting affected and having strokes because they're messing around with these drugs. So I can remember when I was in Florida and I worked for this telemarketing company, I had a young lady that was in my I was a manager of one of the database rooms, and this young lady, when I tell you the chick, it always sounded like she was talking on pause. You know how you pause your DVD? And then you unpause it and then you move it up slowly, but you're not really fast forward or rewinding it. That's how she used to talk. It was like she was like, I want to go ahead and get. And this is somebody that I didn't hire this chick. So can you imagine she working in the telemarketing room? So you call, and we were selling vacation packages. On top of that, so you call and she'd be like, yeah, so if you buy this package, we'll give you $100 in gas coupons. And then the gas coupons, they good forever. You can just, you can redeem whenever you want. But you got to take the trip within a year, 385 calendar days of the year. And I'm like, it's only 365 days in a year. What is wrong with you? And I'm sitting up here listening, like we could listen in on her calls. So like one day I started, as I was looking at her numbers, and like she would be on calls for like long periods of time. But then when we would listen back to the phone, the person done hung up a long time ago. So she was just talking to the damn dial tone again. She was trying to catch up to what her last statement was, and then sometimes, but she wasn't like that every day. So I was like, I said, this chick has got to be abusing something, or she going in the bathroom sniffing the plumbing. It's something wrong with her.
Right. Crack and whack.
Yeah, this like I think ecstasy was out. The first parts of ecstasy was just starting to kind of hit the streets. This chick, man, when I tell you, it was like you could see her searching to try to get out her words to talk, and it was just crazy.
Crack is whack. That's all I can tell you. And then look at it, his impact is on me. Because I was going to share personal stories. I got buddies here and around the country that can't even function unless they smoke a joint. I got a buddy who smokes a joint on the way there. He's a high-powered executive. He smokes a joint on the way to work. He smokes a joint before he goes into the church. He smokes a joint when he comes out of the church. He smokes a joint when he wakes up in the morning. He smokes a joint when he goes to bed. I
know people that do that.
Yeah, and then his car, he got some Febreze. He got every type of body spray you can think of. And I'll tell you, you smell like weed. I don't care what you spray on you, you still smell like weed. So,
oh my God! Yeah, dude. Like I knew a dude I went to school with. Man, that dude was high all the time. It was like that was the only way he could function to do his schoolwork. And he's like, man, this stuff to be coming to me so smooth and so swift and so, and I'm like, dude, what are you gonna do when you can't be on that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, people smoke weed all day to go back and smell it when they spray some cologne. No. You smoke a joint, you go to a church.
Gee, wait, hold up, dude. One time, I used to work for Verizon, right? I remember one day I was in a phone center where you come in and pay your bill. So these two young dudes, they had to be about 17, 18, no, I would say about 18 to 21 years old. Two guys, they come in. It was in the summertime. And the guy come in, he's like, yeah, I want to set up phone service. When he got to my area, my little desk area, he was standing in front of me. I was like, I couldn't tell if it was him or his buddy, but I could smell the whiff of it a little bit, right? And I could smell like they had curve on top of it or sprayed some cologne, so it's smelling like curve instead of curve. You know what I'm saying? So he's standing there, and dude is like, I'm getting his name, his phone number, his social. So it took him about a few minutes to kind of get his social security to me. Then he was pulling out his ID and stuff. When I tell you the guy was like about 6'1", He was standing at the desk. His hand was on the counter. Dude started rocking. So I saw him kind of like, you know how the guys had their pants kind of low. So he was kind of he was kind of standing spread with his legs spread a little bit. When I tell you that brother started rocking, JL, next thing I know, that dude's eyes started rolling in his head. I was like, are you okay? I'm on the phone with customer service calling in the phone order. And I'm like, well, just give me a few minutes. You're going to get your phone on. He's like, okay. So he's just standing there for a few minutes. Next thing I know, that brother started rocking. He was rocking. Next thing I know, that fool hit the floor. I grabbed it. I caught him by his wrist.
Wow.
And he was hanging. I tell you, that dude blacked out on me. I said, oh, my God. So I told the customer service, I said, hold on. I came over the counter. And dude was out for I'm holding him by the wrist, right? And he ain't big, but he ain't light. You know what I'm saying? So I'm calling the security guard from the front of the store to come over. So dude got up. His friend kind of helped him up. And when he stood up, I was like, you okay? He was like, yeah, I'm all right. Before I even knew it, I said, dude, you got to stop smoking that shit. I was like, it was so obvious.
Oh,
he
man.
was so high. That dude passed out in front of me. And I was like,
crazy.
it is not that serious.
Yeah, a lot of people, they look to them, it's just that serious. And I think that's why you have a lot of homelessness, and that's why you have a lot of people who are in mental institutions because of drugs and alcohol. And, it's been in our country. It's been in our country for years and years and years. And, the government has tried to get their hands wrapped around it, and they just can't. So, again, I think if you are participating in any type of recreational drugs, including alcohol, and you know that you have an addiction, or you don't think you got an addiction, or you know you got an addiction, then
wow.
I would, Sonny and I would definitely suggest that you seek some type of support system and talk to somebody, or do some homework and find out what's available out there for you. And there may be some free services out there. I know the AA, NA, CA are all free for you.
Drug A, Help A. Sound like you're talking to pig lady.
I think that you can find some organization that can help you fight your addiction, and so you can stay healthy and live longer. And just healthy. Again, a lot of it, Sonny, I think has to do with just the state of the mind, or your life, or you lost some love, or you're depressed, or you take a job, or your finances are messing with you, or you're just in a bad place, and the first thing you do to escape, like I mentioned earlier, is that you just turn to some type of substance to help you just be able to just sleep. Sometimes not always. Those type of drugs we've been talking about. Sometimes it's a sleeping pill. Sometimes it's something that you need to take a sleeping pill because you can't sleep at night, and that's a drug. You need a sleeping pill every night to go to sleep, and you need another pill to wake up. You need another pill to keep you going because you got no energy.
Yeah, man. I struggle coming down from damn. You know how you used to have Vivarin, and I remember when I was in college, we had a soda called Jolt.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember back in the day when I used to try to drive from Florida to Illinois, and I would drink a Jolt and take a Vivarin and be coming down and crashing. You know what I'm saying?
Drug heads. Admit it. Sonny, the first thing to get help is admit it. So admit it on the air right now that you got a problem. You had a problem.
I was drinking Joe and taking Vibrant to drive home. Yes, I did.
And you were slipping some Vicks and hell on top of that, right?
I hope not. Well, at least I wasn't like the dude tearing my air conditioner out the wall, slipping all the Freon out.
At least you wasn't doing that.
That dude was blazed.
I have an addiction, and I'm really hooked. I mean, I really have a serious addiction, and that is the caffeine. I got to have a cup of coffee every morning, or I lose it. So, I know we talk about hardcore drugs on our show tonight, Night Talk Live, as Jay on Sunday, but I also have an addiction to caffeine. If I don't get a cup of Starbucks, I can't drink Dunkin' Donuts. I can't drink McDonald's. It has to be Starbucks. if I don't give me a cup of Starbucks, a tall or a grande every day, and I even brew it, I even do my own drugs at home. I even brew my own coffee at the house, Starbucks. If I don't get a cup of Starbucks in my system by 8:00 a.m., I'm a hot mess. I get headaches. I get irritated. And I think I will have a cup of coffee sometime before I brush my teeth. So I know I'm addicted to caffeine, and caffeine is a drug. So all of us are addicted to something if you really look at it.
Word. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's a heavy addiction, man, when you're talking about stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's so true. So we want you to, our listeners, to really take this conversation. I know Sonny and I are laughing, because we try to laugh about advice and humor and everything. Because life is too serious. But we really want you to know that we take this issue very serious and
at face value.
At face value, and because we know so many of you are going to tune back in and listen to this show. If you're not listening tonight, your numbers have showed us that we want you to know that, you know, drug addiction is a serious problem in our country, in our community, and in our, especially the LGBTQ community as well. And we really want you to be healthy, and we want you to seek out help. So if you're not listening to us right now, and you're listening to us in the future, you know, again, do your homework. Sonny and I both learned about Molly just over the past couple of weeks, and we were just clueless about it. But the information is out there. It's easy, accessible, and it's good to know. And again, it's definitely good to know. And it could impact your relationship. You know, where your partner maybe have a drug problem, where you find where all the money's going, and maybe their sex drive is not there, or they're not taking care of themselves anymore, and you see some major changes in their behavior, and it could be because they are addicted to some type of substance. And somebody who is a substance abuser, they know how to hide it. Ooh, they know how to hide it. You know, so
most times, and then when it gets to a point of out of control, you know, it could spiral. And you know, we want to make sure that, you know, that people understand that there's always somewhere where someone can get some help or some support. So you want to make sure that, you know, if you do know somebody that's abusing, if it's yourself or someone you know, whether it's a family member or a friend, try to steer them the best you can. You can't control people, but try to steer them the best you can to knowing that there's some outreach or some type of programs out there that can help for them to overcome these types of situations. So, you know, we want to make sure that people understand that, you know, you have to get educated about things a lot of times to overcome circumstances, you know. So, you know, one of the things that is important here is that, you know, if you have children, you know, teen children, you know, unfortunately it's really high amongst teens. You know, I've noticed that it's slowed down some here, but I know at one point I saw a lot of teen clubs popping up. And there was a big craze with that, you know. I mean, I thought about that for a hot second, and I was like, you know what, I wouldn't even want to take that responsibility, because, you know, young people have a tendency to be a little quicker in regards to doing things, and, you know, violence and all those other things can steer out of control very easily. But most importantly, when you have, you know, a volume of children like that, you don't want to have, you know, drugs and alcohol are very susceptible to large crowds. So I think what's happening that you have, you know, back when I was, you know, we were younger, we didn't have teen clubs, you know, where they would go into full-fledged clubs that you would see adults in. But when you have areas that have these types of atmospheres and environments, it's easy for those types of things to seep in. So just be cognitive of what your children are doing too, you know, because if you can kind of, you know, do your best with them as you can coming up, and, you know, and open dialogue with people, it helps, you know, sometimes. That's the best I can put it.
It's funny, I'm on Facebook right now, and I'm talking to my one guest who said that he's sorry that he cannot call in. He had a crisis at his clinic. However, he would like to send us some information to put on our like page for anybody who may have some questions or need to find a local nonprofit facility that deals with drug addiction. I'm reading his message to me right now.
Wow. Okay. I think that, These after effects, I kind of found something too about after effects. So even if people are considering this, and then too, you might want to be careful when you're in atmospheres where people can, my whole thing is I've always learned when you're out in the club with friends and stuff like that, don't walk away from your drink. Don't leave it unguarded or leave it open and then come back and drink it, because you never know, somebody done drop something in there. But the after effects of using this, psychologically, anxiety, paranoia, depression, irritability, fatigue, you can actually have sensitivity of emotions, residual feelings of empathy, impaired attention, concentration, and psychologically, physiological effects, dizziness, lightheadedness, vertigo. I've had a vertical circumstances before, so that's not fun. Loss of appetite, gastrointestinal disturbances like diarrhea or constipation, insomnia, aches and pains, exhaustion, jaw soreness. Because they were talking about the jaw jaking and stuff like that could, be something you see that could happen. And then overdosing, of course, that could lead to death or renal failure, comas, hemorrhaging, strokes, you name it. It just the whole demographic of issues just continue to climb. So I would suggest, people looking to understanding a little bit more. One of our listeners just posted something to me about Steven Tyler, who was he's a American Idol judge, but he actually came forward saying over 30 years ago he spent more than $20 million on cocaine and heroin over the years, and he rehabbed in 1986 and again in 2009 for an addiction to painkillers.
Wow.
And he's been clean ever since. So that reality show, that Celebrity Rehab, there's been about 5 or 6 people that have died, have committed suicide, and a lot of it's been drug abuse, pain addiction. All of this resorts back to pain. So therapy is very important. I think, and I think I said that earlier in the beginning of the broadcast about how people are not coping well. And for whatever the reason, the gay community is affected higher. And I really, honestly and truly feel that a lot of it has to do with the fact that about society and family and pressure issues. I think more now than ever, people are becoming more empowered to speak on their, on their truth. I posted something online, and we had a response to it as somebody made a statement talking about. I posted about the demographics, about the percentage of gay people, gay men, and substance abuse and all of that, and somebody had made a posting about the truth, because they have to deal with the truth that you're doing something that's not acceptable. So see, comments like that, society pressures,
Exactly.
So that's why you find that there's more communities of same-sex, gender-loving people starting to come together, because you got so much hate. You have a lot of people who are saying things or being disgruntled to people because of who they are. So unfortunately, that's affecting the community as a whole.
I just got a text message from a buddy of mine that he's listening to us out of Baltimore. He said that make sure that we let our listeners, I'm reading the text, make sure we let our listeners know that crack cocaine is still a major problem in our community. He said, you guys have not said anything about crack. Crack cocaine is still a major destroyer in our community. So that's right. We didn't say anything about crack, but he's right about that. Crack cocaine is still, you think about New Jack City and a lot of the other shows back in the day, how crack was swept through our community, with gay and straight, rich and poor. So I want to thank Dwayne for sending me that text. I mean, you're right, Dwayne, that crack cocaine, we may not have mentioned crack, but, we're including all those hardcore drugs. So thank you, crack. Crack is whack. Crack is definitely still very
Now you
much
sound like
active.
a Whitney Houston plug on that one.
Yeah, that's true. But he's right. We didn't mention crack. We talk about Molly and T and meth and coke, but we didn't talk.
And you know what? She was one that had a lot of drugs still in her system.
Yeah.
And then that's the thing. People, they mix and have all this stuff that they doing, and next thing you know, you're finding that people are being affected by other things, and then it carries over because you've messed around with something for so long that your body's shutting down. You know what I'm saying?
Shut down. So that's
I think, Jeb, look, we're about 20 minutes out. I want to, kind of touch on next week. We are looking to broadcast. We have our 3 shows that are actually running on Loudmouth Radio Network. Monday nights, we have The Universal Mind with Roderick Watkins. Tuesday nights, The Bare Truth with Jazzy Jones. And we come on again live at Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Night Talk Live with JL and Sonny. And, next week, Roderick spoke on his episode, which will be Benefits of Meditation. I believe Ms. Jazzy Jones is going to be talking about something that's going to be a very interesting topic about adult breastfeeding. And next week, Mr. J.L. King, we have the special feature on LGBT authors, and so it looks like sooner than later we'll be talking to some authors, which I've already started reaching out to a few that I already knew, in regards to their quest in publishing and the things that they're doing in regards to their stories and their messages. So we want to make sure that you're tuning in and keying in on these great topics that we'll have coming up next week, and know that we all broadcast at 8 p.m. each week, and give our listeners the opportunity to connect with us on Facebook. You can connect with us on Twitter at Loudmouth, and Loudmouth is with 2 Ds. So if you want to look or pull up information, make sure that you put those 2 Ds in. And we are broadcasting live as well as you can hear us on demand.
That's good. I'm glad, because I'm going to really, thank you, Miss Producer, for telling me next week about authors. I'm going to we're going to have so many guests next week. We have to do 2 shows about books, because I know at least 10 authors that I'm going to personally invite to call in and give them each, maybe we'll give everybody 3 to 5 minutes to talk about their book.
Oh, you better believe we'll be formatted, so we'll get it in. We got 120 minutes, so we'll make it work.
Yeah. I got many author friends.
Yeah, we want to make sure that our listeners are keying in, and I guess as far as our segment that we should also be keeping an eye on is that the Oprah Winfrey Show. That should be broadcasting sometime in April, right?
Yes, I should know the exact date. Next Thursday, I'll be able to tell everybody the exact date. I did talk to the Harpo producer today. She did give me a tentative date, but she asked me not to say it yet because she wants to wait.
Yeah, we'll hold that close, but just make sure people know.
Yeah, it's coming up soon. It's coming up real soon, and God, fingers crossed that Sonny and I will be featured on that show. Maybe give us a couple of seconds. But yeah, it's definitely coming up. But yeah, we are going. And also, I want to propose. I'm always thinking out the box that we may even start adding a night talk featured listener and give you some love and spotlight some great things that you're doing. If you're doing maybe something you like to talk about, maybe we can start accepting nominations of people who are doing some big things in our community, and we could do a spotlight on that listener. I think that'd be kind of hot. So we just kind of talk about them and what some of the great things they're doing in our community. And I think the best thing too is start encouraging our listeners to submit to us, some things that are going on, and then we kind of selectively pull some things and announce them on air, and get more community involvement. I think that'll be excellent. That would be so excellent. That would be so excellent. Just bring the community. We want to bring the community inside our station and inside our homes when we're on the air.
And the great thing about it, if you guys follow us right on our Blog Talk channel, you actually can send messages directly to us. We had someone that sent a topic up to us the other day in regards to some interest in regards to fashion. So, things like that. We see the information, we review it, we make sure that we respond to what you're talking about and the things that are important to you. And as things are progressing and growing, we want to make sure that the community is aware of it. So, stay tuned to the things that we're doing as a network, and we'll be coming in with a new website soon so people will be able to have even more interaction. But we want to make sure you're following us on Facebook, facebook.com/loudmouthonline with 2 Ds. And just continue to go to our loudmouthradio.com, take you straight to our channel. You can actually listen to on-demand shows and also post messages, comments. Follow us from there. And as we're progressing, we're growing. So I know we got about 15 minutes of airtime left. But, JL, basically, I think that we've done a good wrap, considering we didn't have our people into panel. We can probably go ahead and just kind of wrap it up. What you think?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to wrap it up. I've said all I can say. And this was a good conversation, even though we didn't have our guests. I still want to thank my two special guests that at least considered coming on tonight. And I was going to get my buddy said he will send me posting and put on our like page so people can get more information about drug addiction. And I want to thank my friend in Baltimore who reminded us about crack, and also to all the people who will listen to our show. They'll tune in and go back and listen to our show and build our numbers up. Thank you so much. I also want to give a special shout out again to my fellow media personalities, Jazz Jones and Roger Watkins, who I have mad love for. We have built a great relationship. The company support each other. That's what Loudmouth is all about. I want to ask everybody to keep me in their prayers, because as I continue to search for my true self, and I always ask, if you truly know how to pray, if you truly know God, pray for me. If you don't pray for me.
Okay.
I don't want you to pray for me unless you know Him. You can ask everybody to pray for me. I want to thank my co-host and Loudmouth Media for her vision to allow us to really stretch our wings and
JL, listen, I hear some interference here. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine.
Oh, okay. I was hearing some interference. I sound like on the line.
No, Crystal. I just want to say, I'm going to say my last thing is that continue to let's uplift each other, uplift our community, let's uplift everything that we're doing, and always remember to live your life with faith over fear, and always give back a smile, a helping hand, or even an extra dollar bill.
Wonderful. And my closing statement, I just want to tell everyone, God bless. Tune in with us next week. Stay lifted. And we're signing off on Night Talk Live with JL and Sonny. Love and light.
Love and light.